Hey guys, it's your host again of the chomp Daily. I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there for a second. I know it's been a couple days, especially multiple days, and I want to bring out something a little bit new. I do got some extra videos already really just ready to just be posted. I've just been trying to get the gang together just to show you some more Cobblemon that's coming soon, and I'm going to actually have them more available going forward. You know, I'm speaking about my friends, by the way, for when I start streaming. But I wanted to bring a news video. We haven't done one in a little bit, and I think we have just some stuff to go over, just some stuff I want my opinions on, and just so you guys can really just get your own grasp and form opinion on different things that not only the Nintendo Switch 2 has come out with, but also just certain news involving policies, and honestly, with Pokemon coming up, there's just a lot. So, we're going to kick things off with something from Soul Silver Art, which I found interesting. Now, Soul Silver said, best Pokemon games ever? Obviously, no. Now, obviously, he goes and says, hey, listen, I already think the SV games are great. I never had major bugs. Well, that's one thing I can actually sympathize with. And just really relate to is I've seen these major bugs, but I've never had any major bugs myself. It doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just means I was lucky enough not to witness them. And I personally think with the recent just bug fixes they've had, it's really helped. So he goes and says, so my issue with it was never this. While the frame rate improvement will be an upgrade, this doesn't fix the environment model, soulless art, direction, and bad gameplay mechanics. I understand you guys know that my opinion on Scarlet and Violet is an 8 out of 10. And I know for some people that's be like, what? What in the world? But here's why. Scarlet and Violet's shiny hunting mechanic, the story, the DLCs, and just the overall just meaning of just how the story goes. Like, obviously you know there's a story, but then there's the meaning behind it, the multiple meanings, more of the realistic tones. So from the tones, the stories, the shiny hunting mechanic, and the DLCs, that's what made it 8 out of 10 for me, because the story was absolutely immaculate. This is the kind of story that I like to run with a lot more. You know, a lot more of your, you know, your older demographic, you know, exploring, you know, death, future, and past, seeing how to improve upon the, you know, how to improve the future but learn from the past, etc., etc. Obviously, the shiny mechanic is awesome because I'm a huge shiny hunter, and it's just fun, you know. And it didn't really take away shiny hunting, in my opinion. Like, it didn't take away like the value of it, because there were certain Pokemon that you do have to work a little bit harder to get and spawn specifically, and nothing wrong with that. And it just allows it to feel a lot more accessible, because not everyone has months and months and months to hunt down for like a certain Pokemon. Like, there's some people that go almost months looking for a specific legendary Pokemon, and having it like this, just how they made it, with the sandwiches and then just Shiny Charm helping so much, it just makes it a lot more understandable. And besides, with recent Pokemon promotional art and just plushies, they've been expressing more of the shiny variants of Pokemon, which help get that out there a little bit. I will say that if it wasn't for the, you know, the unique story, the shiny hunting, the tone, and the DLCs, it would probably be a 6 out of 10 game for me, just because the release date was bad. And just how that release was just not pretty. And I'm not hating on them, because now with how many bug fixes that they've had and the amount of improvements that they've went forward to, the game has definitely improved. Like, if I were to judge the game now, if it came out how it is now, yeah, there would be a lot of issues that we would have, but it would be a lot better than what it was when it got released. So I'm going to say it's an 8 out of 10 game for me, just because it was a really good game. I actually like the models of the game itself. Sure, there were some models that maybe looked lifeless just because when they initially spawned in. But, you know, your Pokemon have expression, they have texture. And honestly, the art style that they went with was not bad. The art style is actually another plus for it. So it isn't that the games themselves were bad. It's just overall everything was there except a lot of like your typical gameplay mechanics. Scarlet and Violet, I think, also ranks so high for me just because it was really, really fun. I really enjoy it. It's actually in my top, 10 all-time, higher on my top 10 list actually, because of how fun it was and how enjoyable it was. But just because of all the potential, sure, it didn't hit its potential completely, but it had a lot. So that's one thing I want you guys to take away is that you can just like sit back, get off the hate train a bit, just sit there and look like, hey, you know what? This wasn't that bad. This was actually a pretty decent game. I'm not saying you have to say that it's 8 out of 10 like me, but I would say at least recognize the great that it does have within it. And then, we're going to go ahead and, if I can actually, just go on to here just so I can compare the visuals. There were some visuals right there. I didn't want to use those visuals just because there wasn't enough, but here's the comparison between the Nintendo Switch, which is on the top, and the Nintendo Switch 2, which is on the bottom. The lighting is so much more of a pop. And I really do like that. I mean, the lighting smooths, it just smooths out a little bit. The texture's a little bit more refined. Like, I like Scarlet and Violet, like how it looks now, but this is just a lot more smooth, and my eye actually really likes this. I did pre-order my Nintendo Switch 2. It will come in, later, and I look forward to that. But I got on that as soon as I could. Like, I was waiting, and it sold out quick, and I was lucky, so lucky to order one. And I just look forward to playing this on it, because it will transfer all my data over. And here's another one. One thing that people did mention is that because of the improved lighting and just overall texturing of it all, which you can even see with the slowpoke here. I mean, this looks all right here, but there's a little bit of like a digitalness to it. But if you look here at the same distance, that looks so smooth and shiny. But one issue I did here is that because of how refined it is, it kind of shows off how bad that they did like the in-game terrain modeling, which you can kind of see like back here compared to this. This looks smoother than this. You can kind of see where they copy and pasted it essentially together. So it kind of just bit them within the foot a bit. Again, nothing that awful. I mean, I don't really see much of an issue, but there are some things. But even if you take a deeper look into the original Switch 1 version of this, you can still see those issues within the texture with that they did within the terrain. Now we're going to quickly go over to this before we get into some of the big controversies that we've recently heard. Now again, this is 4chan, and as I say always, take these just take all of these rumors with a grain of salt. I mean, they're just rumors, possible leaks. But this is involving Gen 10. I'm going to go over some more Gen 10 stuff once I get some more sustainable, I guess, evidence or just more information about it. Just because so far the information that I have now is just, I mean, it's just not enough for me to do a news video on. But it just goes over the the new starters, which is a Wolf Bud, which is a grass puppy, which I would not be into. And then there's Moopire, which is Fire Calf, then Bubblefin, which some of these are just like, they just don't sound correct. But again, take it with a grain of salt. Water Dolphin, Fire Calf. Fire Calf, I don't think would be bad. Water Dolphin, I think that they need to venture a little bit more. But Grass Puppy, I'm sorry, that just doesn't sound interesting to me. I want them to be unique. I'm so tired of these basic, like, regular animals. Like, be a little bit more on your mythical animal side. Like, if it is a Fire Calf, they can do, like, a Minotaur, Something, just cool. There's a lot more mythical. Especially if it is, like, in Italy or in Greece. Like, one of those two very ancient countries. I would think some of those more mythical from like their mythology, would fit in there. Like, make some star Pokemon that fit their mythology, and the Greek gods and such. And then the mascot legendaries are Pegasaur, which I'm assuming is Pegasus, and Hypothalos. I don't know what the heck that would be. Numons are a normal goat, which, okay. A bug ant. Okay, I mean, it's like something's just spouting them off here. Fire / fairy, Olympic flame. I mean, I can see it. A grass / ice mint. So that would be kind of cool, like a mint. See, like that would be interesting. Electric fire cheetah. Could see a water rock, which could be a prehistoric shark. Which would this would be something that I could see them doing. I could realistically see them making like a megalodon. I could really see it. Fighting flying, a double-headed eagle. Dragon psychic pseudo. I do want a dragon pseudo, but if they're doing like a dragon pseudo, they need to do dragon bug, especially if we do not get a mega flygon, which I'm hoping we do. I think dragon psychic pseudo would be dope. In the story, the oldest civilization in Pokemon world, 5,000 years of history, and then Poke Olympics. Again, like that just seems just too on the nose with the Olympics, but really, it's not out of the realm of Nintendo and Game Freak, because they could use the Olympics and this game as like a huge, just as like a huge marketing stunt. They can have advertisements for the game and their Pokemon at the actual Olympics within the next few years, and then gimmick, very well. I don't know very well. Mega Evolution, I have no idea. My man just says very well. I don't know very well. I mean, we have Mega Evolution, we have Terrestrialization, we have the Z moves. I mean, Dynamax forming. Like I don't know. You explain to me. I'm going to assume he's preluding to Mega since Mega's so huge. I don't know. This just right here just hurts the credibility, because it's like, well, if you know so well, why are you just not saying it? So, it is what it is. I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility, but I do find it very, very, like, I wouldn't say not possible, but it's most likely not. I mean, it's unrealistic. But we're going to move on here. We're going to go towards the Nintendo 2 and just going over some news. My opinion on this is kind of off-put. So let's first get into it. Nintendo's updated user agreement policy allows them to make Nintendo Switch 2 consoles permanently unusable if modified to run the pirated games. And then if we go here, obviously we have our thing here. Nintendo is willing to brick the... I assume they mean break. I don't know. I mean, maybe he meant brick. Like, you ended up throwing a brick at the damn thing. Who knows? Switch 2 consoles to tackle piracy. And obviously it just goes over their rules. I mean, most of you will know, but if you do not, the whole spiel of this, just so we don't have to go through all this, is Nintendo wants to stop piracy, which is respectable. So within their user agreements, upon buying it and using it, it clearly states that they can shut off and permanently break your Nintendo Switch 2 console if it is found to be modified and is also being found to pirate games. And that essentially means that breaks it. You're not allowed to modify it. You're not allowed to cheat to get games, essentially stealing from them. And it helps with, just with third-party, emulators, and just helping, really help with even scalping a bit, just because, they've been helping recently with just banning I think it was 200,000 accounts for the recent Pokemon TCG box. They banned 200,000 accounts so people couldn't scalp. But they're even doing it for the Nintendo 2 products, to where they're keeping track if they have someone on file that's already been found. Hey, they've hacked before, cheated. So if they get caught again, they just instantly break it. So what would be So here's the big question, because there's a lot of people outraged by this, and there's some people like me that agree with it. Now, I'm going to be probably stand alone in this, and I get the anger. Like, I'm not sitting here calling you guys dumb. I'm not here calling anyone stupid for being angry. I get it. But I told all of you in a couple videos back, this would happen. I said actually a couple months ago that this would probably happen, to where Nintendo's going to pull off the belt, and they're going to start making policy changes to officially just smack it. Just smack it out of the water and tell you guys, hey, we're taking the high road here. Our own moral high road. You may not see it that way, but we're tired of the piracy. We're tired of people trying to copy us. We're tired of this. This is what happens when you constantly cheat. This is what happens when you constantly modify consoles that you shouldn't be modifying. And this is what happens when you're stealing. I mean, really, their main focus is piracy. And you got to understand, this isn't going to happen a lot. Like, you have to be actually caught by Nintendo. Like, you have to be reported, or you have to rat yourself online, or, you know, if they have to do like an update and they see via a account or something is you know, something's up, they have to look into it. But they have to be brought attention to it. Like, they're not just going to do regular like inspections. That's what Nintendo has clearly said multiple times. They are not going to be inspecting people's consoles randomly. They're not going to be doing that. They're only going to break consoles if someone is reported, caught online, or it is brought directly to Nintendo's attention that someone is, you know, pirating or modifying the console. More than a report, but directly letting them know, hey, blah, blah, blah. They're doing, Joe Schmo is modifying their Nintendo Switch 2 to get games, or, you know, to help others, you know, get games. And if you are having a business that's specifically helping modify these Nintendo Switch 2s, you will be met with legal action. So if you take that all in, this isn't really that bad of a deal. And yes, there is the whole thing about, you know, you own the license to use the Nintendo Switch. And the Nintendo company itself has come out and said, if you buy the Nintendo Switch 2, you own it. If you buy it, you do own it. But you also own the license to use their games. But because of you modifying and cheating to get games, you break their policy, which then forfeits your ownership because you're doing something illegal. They are essentially using really a legal loophole, which cannot be removed because they are they have their own company, to make sure you guys are not doing this. And sure, does it sound almost dictator-like? Sure. And a part of me doesn't agree with it, but a large part of me does, and here's why. You shouldn't be modifying or hacking to get games. Like, in general, if you are hacking to get games, like if you're going to the marketplace and just getting games for free, like let's say you're buying, not buying, but like you're modifying your PlayStation, not your PlayStation, good lord. But we'll get into other consoles here in a second, including PlayStation and Xbox. But let's say you modify your Nintendo Switch 2 just to get, let's say, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for free. That's illegal. I mean, that's technically theft. I mean, what they're doing isn't that bad. But here's why people are angry. People are angry, and this is the controversial part, which I know I may get slack for, and I'm sorry if you disagree. I just hope you just see where I'm coming from. It just comes down to big bad company telling me what to do, me mad. That's seriously what it is. And to me, I find it hilarious, because that's what it all really is. Now, there's some people out there that have valid arguments, like saying, hey, it's ours, blah, blah, blah. And I agree. But most of these people complaining and hating are angry because big bad company telling me what to do and not to do, and is going to punish me if I don't follow their rules. Like, grow up. Really grow up. Stop pirating games. Stop stealing. Stop cheating. And stop modifying your consoles. And when I mean modify, it doesn't mean like modify your console by like getting a new case, or modifying it to where you can use it on a PC, which you don't have to worry about because you can actually use it on a PC officially, from what I have been informed. And also mouse controls. You can use a mouse, so that's also a big plus. But like, let's say that you wanted, to have it like more so just connected to your computer. Like, they're not really worried about that. It would be violating the terms, but they're not going to be angry about that. They're going to be angry if you're using it to get games and apps and such, and getting through stuff with it. That's what they're looking for, and that's valid. All I can say is this. If you are angry because a company's telling you what is legally required and what is by law, then you're the problem. I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, just get that ego out of here. Like, get that chip off your shoulder, humble that ego, and just be like a normal player. Buy the console, you own it now, play your games, and be done. Play your games, enjoy, play it as normal. You will not have to worry about your Nintendo Switch 2 being shut down or being broken permanently by the Nintendo Switch 2 company, by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch 2, if you just don't modify your console and pirate games. That's the easiest thing ever. Don't be a thief. That's all it takes. Don't be a thief. And don't give me that crap about, well, it just doesn't feel right because, I feel like I should have full ownership. Well, you do have full ownership. But like the law, in real life, if you break the law, you suffer the consequences. If, you're using your computer to hack other people's stuff, then you lose your computer by law. That's just how that works. It isn't fun, but I'm not the one doing the crime. You are. Now, I will agree with people out there saying, it just feels shitty because it doesn't feel like I fully own the game. And I get that. And I agree. I do think that Nintendo's going a lot in on just fully stopping this and hoping it works. And I think it is. And I agree. It sucks, to have to be like, okay, well, I now know what can happen, and just that thought, is just scares me, and that's valid. That's all valid. Everyone that is angry because they're just worried about the radical push that Nintendo 2 is, pushing for and is enforcing, and everyone calling Nintendo the big brother now, that's just sad. Because that isn't what's happening. They're just trying to make sure you guys are following their policy. I'm sorry, but they brought you the game. Just because you own it doesn't mean you can do whatever the hell you want if it's illegal. Sure, you own it, but it's like there's certain things you can't do on the computer that are illegal. I mean, have you guys ever heard of the dark web? There's also other things. You're not even allowed to, extort people and steal on your PC, by scamming them, being a scammer. Like, there's a whole bunch of different analogies I can, correlate and connect to here. But the simple fact is, I agree, it's a very radical push. It's very aggressive. I agree, maybe be a little bit too aggressive. But I also accept and understand and even agree with why they're doing it. People need to stop stealing. People need to stop, just thinking they have this chip on their shoulder because you don't. Just because you own it doesn't mean you can hurt someone else or hurt a company because you own it. That's not how that works. If you think it is, then you do not know what true ownership is and what true freedom is, because that isn't what freedom is. Freedom isn't you taking advantage of other people and other companies. I'm sorry. And I'm the first to go up to bat, because some of these billion-dollar companies, they're billion-dollar companies. What is it going to do if they lose a couple of their stock or something? It is what it is. And I am not like one of those big there's been a really big term now to where if you defend Nintendo, you are a multi-billion-dollar company bootlicker, and I hate that because I'm not a company bootlicker. I'm sorry. I just have respect for my fellow human being, and the company's ran by human beings at the end of the day, and they're just asking something that's very reasonable. Just don't be a pirate and steal shit. That's really all it comes down to. And I don't think that is the issue. And again, if you say, I don't feel that it's right that they are, like I said, that they're being this aggressive. I agree, but I also agree with them. I'm really torn because I see both sides. I really do. But I even said earlier in this video, I warned you guys in another video, you guys are going to mess around and find out, and look what happened. You found out. You pushed a company to its limit because you will not stop pirating. They ain't doing this just because they can. They're doing it for a reason. I mean, they're doing it for a blatant reason. I mean, yeah, it's just crazy to me. And I hope to hear you guys' thoughts down below. I really do, because I just love hearing back from you guys. I love seeing all your guys' point of views. I am not going to sit here and just say that you're wrong, because I do get the arguments against Nintendo, and most of them I do agree with. The only ones I don't agree with are just the egotistical people that don't understand what true ownership and freedom is, and are just angry because they're being told what to do. Well, I'm sorry, but the rest of your life, there's someone going to be telling you what to do. You better get used to it. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to come off pretentious or aggressive, but I'm just being real. I'm just being real, and what they're just telling you to do isn't unreasonable. It would be different if they were, trying to make you follow this big list of rules 24/7, and they're not. They're just asking you to be polite and to respect the games that they're providing to you. And that's really all that I have about that. Just be respectable. Understand that this is a very aggressive move, but understand why they're doing it. And I definitely look forward to hearing your guys' opinions on it. So, as always, be a chomp above the rest. Do not forget to subscribe and like and follow, just with the little bell button. Don't forget to follow my Twitter and all the other links down below. Again, I'm looking forward to streaming. I'm looking forward to more Cobblemon. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. Just from the Pokemon stuff, to the rumors, to even this stuff with Nintendo. I'm sorry if I got a little bit bent out of shape there, but I just don't see the big hubbub with some of this. Some of it I just see as quite understanding. And, it is what it is. Maybe I'm just too optimistic. I just have too much faith in people. I mean, as someone that's going to be a doctor within the future, I'm doing it because I care about people, and I do see the good in people. I'm just hoping that the good that I'm seeing is going to be pushed out. Like it's going to come out and bloom for everyone to see. Because right now there's been a lot of bad, and I'm just hoping to see a little bit of that good. And I just still have faith in humans, and maybe that's the issue, but I'm hoping not. But no, just let me know down below what you think, and I will definitely look forward to seeing you guys later. So I'll be posting again with the next day or so, if not tomorrow, just because I'm going to get the gang all up and do some more Cobblemon on Minecraft. So, like I said, be a chomp above the rest, and have a good night. See ya.